All right, great. And actually the exact same code from that video, we're going to use for this as well. So we're going to use this call success to work with sending a balance. However, there's a bit of an issue here. Right now, anybody can call this withdraw function and take all the money out of this contract. We don't want that. We want anyone to be able to fund the contract, but we don't want anyone to be able to withdraw money from the contract. We only want the owner of the contract to be able to withdraw. So how do we set this contract up so that the withdraw function can only be called by the owner of this contract? Well, we want to set this contract up so that whenever we deploy it, whenever we create this contract, an owner gets assigned to this contract. We assign some address to being the owner, and then we add some parameters so that withdraw can only be called by that address. So what we could do is we could set up some function called call me right away. And when we deploy this contract, we would just immediately call this call me right away function, which will set us up as the owner. However, that would take 2 transactions. And remember, we're engineers. We want to work incredibly hard to be incredibly lazy. So instead, Solidity has something called a constructor. And if you're familiar with other programming languages, a constructor is the exact same as really every other programming language. And the constructor is a keyword and a special function in Solidity. So we can create a constructor function without the function keyword. We just call it Constructor. And we also don't even need the public keyword. You'll see Remix even highlights it pink. This is going to be that function. It's going to be a function that is immediately called whenever you deploy your contract. This function will be called in the exact same transaction that is used to deploy your contract. For example, if I were to take this minimum USD added in our constructor and say minimum USD equals 2, this minimum USD would immediately get updated to 2 right after this contract is deployed in that exact same transaction. Since we want this withdraw function to be able to be called by the owner of this contract, in our constructor, we can set up an address right away to be the owner of this contract. So let's create a global variable called address public owner. And then right in our constructor, we'll say owner equals message.sender. Message.sender, of course, being the sender of the caller, which in this example is going to be the deployer of the contract. Don't worry, we're going to demo all of this very soon to show you everything that's going on. If you want to test all this right now, absolutely go for it. But just remember, it's going to take you a little bit longer on a testnet, and I'm going to show you how it all works anyways. Now that we have our owner set up, we can actually modify our withdraw function so that only the owner can call this function. Easily enough, we're already familiar with the require keyword. We could add a require, the message.sender of whoever calls this withdraw function, must be equal to, and this is how you do equals in Solidity with this double equal sign. A single equal is set, a double equals means equals. So message.sender must equal the owner. And if it's not the owner, we could revert with something like must be owner. Awesome. So now we have a quick way to require that whoever calls the withdraw function is indeed the owner. Awesome.